Today we're going to show you the DOL Coach Stakeholder Register. Stakeholders are defined as an individual, a group, or organization who can influence and or is impacted by and or has or would have interest in a decision, an activity, or an outcome of the project. Now that's a little vague, so let's get more specific. Influence means power. Interest, however, does not mean awareness. When identifying stakeholders, it's always paramount to ascertain if the stakeholder were to become aware of the project, would he or she then possess positive or negative interest within how that project succeeds? We teach you a 4-stage approach to stakeholder management. Stage 1 is identify, followed by prioritizing the stakeholders, engaging the stakeholders, and reviewing the stakeholders. In a DOL coach, we know that nothing is more critical for project success than effective communication throughout the organization, internally and externally, to the stakeholders in the project. We do a great job of often identifying direct and indirect stakeholders, but as noted in the slide, there's lots of often forgotten stakeholders, and that drives the necessity to have a easy to use and comprehensive tool that you can use to manage stakeholders and engage with them effectively. Stakeholder prioritization consists of identifying power and multiplying it by their interest. Please note in the color of interest that we don't care at this stage whether the stakeholder possesses positive or negative interest in the project. They could love the project or they could hate it. When we're prioritizing stakeholders, it absolutely doesn't matter. Because mathematically, from a scale of 1 to 5 on both power and interest, but meaning very low to very high, stakeholders will chart on a table which ends up looking like this. Those with low to very low power and interest combined, we monitor. Moving up the ladder, we then inform, consult, involve, collaborate, and empower. And we've gone so far as to define each of these. Now, we also want to take a moment to remind you that if you do a higher level engagement strategy with a stakeholder like involve, you also do the lower level strategies in addition. So you would involve a stakeholder and consult, inform, and monitor them as well, hence the pluses on the table. These definitions are completely customizable by you or anybody on your team through the usage of the Stakeholder Register, which we're going to show you in just a moment. When you open the DOL Coach Stakeholder Register, you'll see 2 tabs at the bottom of the Excel document. There's a Methodology Editable tab and a Stakeholder Register tab. Let's start with the methodology. The methodology consists of 3 tables. The first table is the stakeholder categories and definitions. The second is a strategy, and the third is the communication preferences. As we get into the actual execution of the register, we go to the second tab. You'll see here that I've named a fake project Blue Healer, and I've assigned Heather Baker as the project manager. I've input my name, Scott Kinder, as a stakeholder, and when you hit the category, you get a drop-down item for all the categories listed on the methodology slide. The same with the engagement strategy, and also the same with the communication preference. If you want to edit any of these, for example, you don't like the word project team or the phrase project team as a category, it's simple to go back to methodology, highlight this slide, and you can name it an agile team, for example. And that name will switch immediately on the category dropdown. The same with engagement and communication preferences. If you use Slack, you can name the team collaboration app Slack on the methodology and have it as a drop-down menu item. There's a couple of things to note on the stakeholder register itself. First and foremost is that each column is completely sortable through ascending or descending order, and you can easily apply a filter to the choices within the stakeholder engagement. Secondly, as we've gone through the engagement strategy, each level is color-coded with the slides that we presented earlier. So you have a quick snapshot as you involve, collaborate, and empower stakeholders as to what stakeholder level you should engage them with. So not only is it sortable, but it's a highly visual technique to best identify the engagement strategy within your stakeholder register. Also of importance are the email and the phone last and next contact columns. Make sure that you have the contact information for those that you need, and you can sort by last contact. So when you have an agenda item on your work breakdown structure to inform stakeholders or provide a status report or to communicate, you can come back to your stakeholder register and easily find those stakeholders that you last communicated with and update them as necessary. We hope you get a lot out of the tool. We hope you love it. Please feel free to email us with any suggestions to info@dolcoach.com. Have a great day.